I was saving my last bush apple from the case that I bought earlier in the summer for a special occasion, and I figured tonight would be a good one for this. As you can see, we're also back in the CIA dark room, as or FBI dark room or whatever. As somebody commented, that was funny. I liked that one. Um, I have to
Yeah.
keep the lights dim behind me because it's way too bright in here to record and stuff with the screen brightness and oh well.
It's funny you've been getting the Bapple comments on there.
Hey, I don't think anyone's been hating on it. I love these things. They're
No,
so
they
good.
have.
I understand why Anheuser-Busch only makes them part of the year, but I wish they made them year-round. All right, we're doing predictions today. We're doing our predictions for percussion, and then Evan has actual predictions for the top 12 overall, but we'll get to that when we get there. I have them, but I'll explain later. But we're the two hosts of the Aged Out podcast. Welcome, everyone. I'm Michael Fantini, and with me, as always, is
Evan Worrell.
And if you're on Spotify, feel free to head over to the YouTube channel, support us there. Otherwise, all the links to support us are in the video description. And comment, like, subscribe. Hit the like button on any drum corps content, indoor content, always. Helps all the online presence grow, which is nothing but good for the activity. So, all right. You got anything you want to say before we jump in?
No, I'm ready to rock and roll. I do have one caveat that I'll talk about when I get there. As far as a placement, I think it's fair. I think it's valid, but yeah, I'll get there when we get there.
Okay, cool. Let me switch here. All right, we are going to start at the bottom like we always do. Are there 20 or 21, by the way? There were 21 groups in Allentown. Was one of them open and I'm just dumb?
Honestly, like Spartans keep getting lumped in with some of the world scores, but I think that they're an open class because they are in the open class finals today. So there should just be 20.
Okay, got it. All right. So let's just jump in. Who you got in 20th?
Small disclaimer. You know, we do this all the time. If I put your ensemble in a specific place, that does not mean that I think that you are bad or worse or, I mean, you know, we're just putting an order out. You know, we're not writing the numbers down. So here we go. 20th place, I have Cascades.
All right. All right. Oh, no, caps lock. There we go. I'm already off to a great start. I know everyone looks forward to hearing my keyboard type the whole time, but I have Genesis in 20th. Missed the capital letter. I gotta fix it.
I think Seattle Cascades still do maybe a later move in or a shorter tour. I'm not sure. I feel like they used to do that once upon a time. I don't know if that's still a thing, but you know, time is time.
Yep. I honestly, when we're at the very bottom like this of the placements, content on the internet can be sparse. So I think Jeff Brooks is one of the best judges in the activity, and the bottom 3 or 4, I kind of just trusted Jeff. I did go find a few videos of these groups. There's some Genesis stuff, a couple Seattle Cascades things out there, but my rankings for bottom 3 or 4, I trusted Jeff on this one, and I fully agreed with him. But so who's your 19th?
I had Genesis in 19th,
and I believe I'm right. Let me double check. Cascades was who I had in 19th. Yep. All right.
Control C.
Yep. Who do you have in 18th?
18th, I have Music City. And I will say, I don't know. I like Music City. I like what they're doing. The show's entertaining. So,
I have Music City in 18th as well. I almost put them above my 17th place group, but I ended up just.
I almost had them higher too, actually.
I looked at this. There's no Music City are like there's more Genesis and Seattle Cascades content out there than a Music City's drumline that I could find on the internet. So they're kind of the ghosts of world class, and they were close. You know, if you combine the 2 days in Allentown, they were a 10th ahead of Academy and a 10th, and then 2/10 ahead of Crossman, but they were on different days. And so the way I kind of differentiated it was I did find videos of Academy, I did find videos of Crossman. And the early season video of Music City I found, I was like, I just think Academy and Crossman are probably going to be better. And if they had gone on the same day back to like right after each other, I know judges, whoever does Allentown, do their best to judge across both days and try to get the rankings correct. When it's close like that, you can have some weird things where when they're all separated by a tenth and all that stuff. So I trusted my gut from what I saw from Academy and Crossman and just said, I'm going to go with the safe play, which I feel like was Music City in 18th, but I could be proven wrong. We'll see. So who you got in 17th?
17th, I have the Bones.
Crossman, that's who I have in 17th.
Which kind of breaks my heart a little bit. But
why is that? Just because it's Crossman?
I love Crossman. I don't know.
I always kind of have to.
I think my like for Crossman too extends back to like the YEA days when I was like, I did go to camps for like cadets and stuff, and that was still a thing, and there was like still a relationship there. So
yeah. I'll also real quick, I know we're not talking a ton about these first 5 or 6 we're putting on here, but again, there's less out there of them. There's less to talk about. There's less dispute or debate to be had, I feel like, between the groups, to me at least. So apologies if we're not deep diving on 17th place, but kind of it's a nature of the activity. But the conversation will get more in depth as we get closer to the top. 16th, who you got?
I'm definitely, like you said, I'm definitely not trying to shortchange anybody's summer. Some of these groups that we haven't done
reactions to yet, or may never get to. Who knows?
Yeah. So
it is what it is.
Academy is in my 16th place.
Oop, if I can not punch my keyboard. That's who I have in 16th as well. I think there's a marked difference, I will say, between, I know they were only a 10th apart, same night in Allentown. Academy just came across as a more mature ensemble. The battery sound seemed more mature than Crossman to me. I know they've had a consistent staff. What's her name?
Taylor? Is she still
yes,
there?
Thank you. Yes. As far as I know, she's still there. Consistent staff for a few years. They've had some good drum lines while they've been at the helm there. So I kind of just trusted the staff that's been there for a while and said, I think they're going to beat Crossman and Music City and end up in 16th. 15th, who you got?
No, you go first.
Okay. Madison Scouts.
I have the Blue Stars.
Ooh. We'll have to talk about this one a little bit because having Blue Stars there definitely disagrees with Mr. Brooks this past weekend. So,
and yes, Taylor Poole is still the caption head.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was pretty sure she was. All right, Blue Stars. Technically, if you go by Allentown rankings, I think Stars were in 13th across the 2 days. So what's your reasoning here?
I just think that Crest and Scouts have a little bit more meat on the bone to max out down the stretch on the last like 8 days or whatever since Allentown that it's going to be. So yeah. So here's my first caveat.
I know what you're going to say.
I have Blue Stars in 15th if we're using the 2-night.
Yep.
But I think their core will make finals, so them getting a third
their
run,
core will make finals. They're like in 8th, 9th place right now or something.
Yeah, so the core making finals, I think, will bump their 3-night average higher up the ranks.
Yep.
So that's kind of my caveat that I was talking about.
I'll also say, as much as the judges try to make this not matter, Blue Stars are going to go on 6 cores after like Madison Scouts or Pacific Crest and stuff. So as much as it doesn't always matter, it can. It can. Tinfoil hat. Not that they don't deserve. I think the range you have. I mean, I have them in 14th, so I'll just go ahead and say it. Like I don't have them like in finals on the 3-night average, but
so yeah, like I think they could be in 15th. Obviously, that's what I said on the 2-night average. But making finals, the spread, even if they're like the lowest place in percussion ensemble in finals at 12th, like the spread is not going to be probably that huge.
Yeah.
So I think that average is going to bump them up. So we'll kind of have to cover that when we get to the recap.
Yep. And Stars was one, again, when I made my rankings, I used Brooks's 2 nights combined as like a starting point, like a benchmark, and then I did my own investigation and thinking, and Blue Stars I kept watching groups, and I was like, the sound is just not, the maturity of sound just isn't where I would want it to be to put them in 12th or higher compared to a lot of other groups around that range. Like, I'm with you. I mean, I'll go ahead. Who do you have in 14th? I'm assuming Scouts.
Second disclaimer of the night. No, we are not forgetting about the front ensembles.
No.
I do not forget about the front when I'm doing this. There.
And I'll add on to that real quick before you say what you're going to say. We've listened to a lot of judge tapes this season. So we've heard a lot of front ensembles. Like, we just have friends and acquaintances teaching and all around the activity to get access to some tapes here or there from various shows. We've heard a lot of groups front ensembles. We've heard judges talk about a lot of groups front ensembles on those tapes. So we're not ignoring the front ensemble and what we're considering here. But if I have a tie, I usually go with my expertise area of the battery to break the tie, just because I can better differentiate there than I can trying to differentiate an evenly matched, so to speak, group by the front ensemble. So 14th, do you have Scouts or Crest or
Pacific Crest?
Crest, all right. And then I have Crest in 13th,
which I think kind of and then Madison Scouts are my 13.
Yep. So we have some disagreement here. This is the first time we've really kind of diverged.
I mean, not significantly.
Not significant, but honestly, in drum corps, you have enough data.
2 placements.
Yeah, you have enough data in the drum corps season from enough shows of groups going head-to-head. We're not going in as blind as we are making predictions in WGI. So typically these are going to be a little closer together, and a discrepancy might be 1 or 2 places between us. But
again, I think Scouts, I think that they have a little bit more, not that quantity is quality, but I think there's, like I said earlier, a little bit more meat on the bone there. If they're like playing really well, I think that that could bump them up, especially in the battery land.
So yeah, like I said, Blue Stars were in 13th in Allentown, Crest in 14th. I flipped them because I think Crest's battery sound is just better. They sound more mature. The blend is better. Blue Stars come off a little, excuse me, I don't know, what's the right word I'm looking for? Not disjointed. That's too harsh. Just the blend is not there stiff, like it is with Crest.
The blend.
The blend or stiff maybe would be the right way to put it.
Not as warm.
Not as warm or mature as you would want for your 12th or 13th place group. So that's why I put Crest above them. So
I think that Crest definitely plays with a little bit more relaxed approach.
Yeah,
for sure.
I would agree. So before we keep going, you and I had talked before we got into this, as we were setting up and everything. I'm pretty confident with my groupings, if that makes sense. Like, there's some placements I'm very confident with an individual group's placement, but other times there's going to be a grouping of 3 where it's like this order could be whoever plays cleaner on across the 3 nights. Like, they're very comparable, and we'll point those groupings out in finals here. Like, one of those groupings would be 13, 14, 15 for me. I think there's a break point between those 3 and then like Academy and Crossman. I think there's a distinct separation there in my mind. But these 3 are all pretty close. However Scouts, Crest, Stars end up, I think it could be any order. Whoever shows up and plays cleaner the most. Crest is at a disadvantage. Well, they're going to be going on around Scouts, so that like core, how many cores are between them might not factor too much there.
True.
All right, moving into finals. Who you got in 12th?
My 12th place drumline. My 12th place percussion ensemble.
There we go.
Spirit of Atlanta.
Okay, interesting.
Spirit.
I'll just put Spirit. I have Spirit in 11th. And then I have Blue Knights in 12th. You want to talk first or me to go?
I have Blue Knights. This is kind of I have Blue Knights in 11th.
Okay.
I think that Blue Knights core placement, like you mentioned earlier with Blue Stars, I think Blue Knights core placement will help them. They're going to go on a little bit later.
Spirit's also not going to be in finals.
The core is like in 13th overall, I think. Like
Spirit
in the rankings, yeah.
Yeah, they are.
But
It's a couple
it's
points
like,
back from Colts.
yeah, it's like a sizable gap.
Yeah. There's no. A lot of years we go into finals week like, oh, is this core? There's a battle for 12th place right now between 3 cores. This year, no. We know who our top 12 are. It's a clear distinction. Spirit's going to get maybe not 13th or they'll get 13th or 14th, but 13th and below is not getting 12th or higher. It's just not happening.
That would be. I mean, never say never.
I mean,
so if you're out there in the core, never say never. Like, but it'll depend on. I hate to say this. It'll depend on the panel for prelims, and it'll depend on the panel for semis. Just kind of like maybe some of the judges that have been rewarding them for certain things they see. It is what it is.
So I think Spirit is the better drumline. Blue Knights, admittedly, and we are going to react to Blue Knights after the season's over from a final slot video.
I think if we're just talking straight drum lines, like
Spirit's better.
10. I would put them 10.
So I ended up swapping them because if you go by the Allentown scores, Spirit's in 12th with an 18. Blue Knights are in with an 18-1. They're in 11th. I swapped them because they went on different nights. They were only a 10th apart. And the gap between the next best group, I did some weird mental magic in my head to justify it. And I was like, this gap should be smaller. I feel like if they went on the same night, the cores are only going to be performing a couple slots away from each other. I bet if they went the same night, Spirit would win. Not to say Jeff Brooks can't manage his numbers and manage his memory across 2 nights. It just is what it is. Cynical me, I'm going to say if they went on the same night, I think Spirit gets 11th in Allentown and not Blue Knights. All right, 10.
10th, I have the Colts.
Me too. And once we do 9, I'll see who yours is. I wrestled with my Colts ranking a lot up until like 5 minutes before you got in Discord. So who's your 9 real quick?
Troopers.
Me too. So I almost got fooled by the internet. You know, we've been Troopers fans all season. And you kind of said they were like very clean from the get-go, but their content isn't quite there compared to a lot of groups.
Maybe just compared to the groups
above them. Sorry. Thank you for correcting me. I misspoke. But, you know, clean is clean at the end of the day. It's what we say on here all the time. Yeah, and Colts sounded pretty good in the videos I found of them. And then there's a couple Troopers lot videos that I'm just like, the segments I caught were just like, there's some not good stuff in there. And then, so I had Colts above them in 9th for a little while I was doing this. And I was able to get a hold of some content that kind of convinced me to put it back the correct way, which I'm now confident Troopers will probably beat Colts.
We can't say it's the correct way, but what we feel, yeah. Well, mine, the reason too I have Troopers above Colts, I would say, does heavily rely on the front. I think what their front is offering is a little bit like what you talked about with Pacific Crest, a little bit more mature, a little bit more variety, a little bit more nuanced, more fidelity. And I think that they are consistent. So that'll help them over those 3 nights for sure.
Yep. The consistency factor was something I took into account there, but I got to give the Colts credit. They improved a ton since the beginning of tour. I hadn't seen them in a while, and when I was doing this, I went and found some videos, and there's some pretty good roles they're playing. Like they've gotten a lot better.
Some fast rolls.
Fast rolls, yes. So good for them. All right, 8th, who you got?
8th, I have the Mandarins. Dragon.
Me too. Speaking of Mandarins, I think they were missing their center too. Recently.
So.
Just like Boston. I've got Mandarins in 8th.
Hopefully both of those young performers can hop back in finals week. I hope that for them.
Yeah, for sure.
With all my heart.
This is one of those that I'm pretty confident about. I just think Crown has enough. I have Crown in 7th, but I'll put them in a second. Who do you have in 7th?
Yes, same.
All right.
No, yeah, dude, I almost actually did some wild stuff with 567. I'm not gonna lie, it was almost wild,
Uh, I have an idea of what you're talking about, but
and I just, at the end of the day, I just could not do it.
well, your historical logical brain probably kicked in, and you're like you were honest with yourself and went, no, this is not going to happen. Even if I think
Yeah,
there's a world where I think whatever I don't even know for sure what you're talking about, but I think I have an idea about what you're talking about. But real
yeah.
quick, I almost had Mandarins and Crown flip flopped. I think that could happen. If Mandarins ended up in 7th and Crown ended up in 8th, I wouldn't be shocked. I just think Crown's got more depth. Like we had talked about with Mandarins earlier in the season, is there enough meat on the bone in their book to, even if they get clean, kind of like the Troopers? I think their book's harder than Troopers' book, battery wise. But
I think Crown show too, just what um what the source material and like the BPMs and the tempos like
mhm,
force Crown to do is like it's so impressive because I know that East Coast, I was in there,
the
the
drill.
run and gun, like you're just hauling.
This is actually one of the
Simultaneous
Allen.
demand.
Well, this is actually
Oh,
one of the Allentown tapes that I have heard at this point is Crowns, and it's a lot of environmental demand in that show.
they are running.
A lot of environmental demand. So you got to give them credit for that. And I think there's just more stuff there. And Crown, like we said in their reaction video, most improved, probably the most improved drumline for me from the start of tour. Colts is close in that conversation too for me, but Crown's gotten leaps and bounds better across the season. So I think this is where they'll end up. Pretty confident about my 7-8, honestly 9-10. 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm pretty confident about how that's going to play out. I say that and watch it'll just like all be jumbled and completely wrong. But
Yeah.
all right, 6. This is where the discussion might get a little interesting.
I don't think it's gonna be interesting.
I got stuff to
I
say.
would I got stuff to say, but all right, I had Cavaliers in 6th.
Okay, okay.
I just let's do 5 and 6 real quick, and then we'll talk.
All right. Why did I put Phantom? I have Phantom in 6.
I
That's
don't
why I
know.
put Phantom.
Yeah, okay.
And then I have Cavies in 5th. Who do you have in 5th? Phantom?
I have the Blue Devils.
All right. Okay, so this is going to spur the discussion I wanted to have here. This grouping of 3, I think, and you have Phantom in 4th, I'm assuming, right?
I do. Yeah.
Okay. So this is the grouping of 3 that I think is the biggest toss-up. I think all 3 of these percussion ensembles are very, very, very close and comparable into what they're in terms of what they're doing and how they're doing it as of Allentown. I this was really tough
Dude,
for me.
I at one point had BD in 7th.
I thought
And
that's
then,
what
like,
you were talking about doing. That was wild.
and I did, and then like I was like, all right, you're just like you're letting your kind of drumline brain take over.
Their fun ensemble's really
let's
good.
let's just like kind of like dial back some things, like listen to some more content that's diverse out there. And I for sure had them in 6th for a long time.
See,
and probably
fifth,
changed it.
fifth was as low as I had them at any point when I was thinking through and looking back at recaps
Well,
and stuff. And
but like I don't think it's gonna happen. Like if I were out there judging drum lines, that's of course this would all have to like be what I was witnessing live in the moment, like based off a lot of YouTube videos. Just throwing that out there. But yeah, like I had them in 7th, and then I had them in 6th, and then I was just like, they'll probably end up 5th or 4th. So
I think the lowest they will go is 5th, and I've got them in 4th because I think their front ensemble is really good. I think their bass line is phenomenal, and their bass line is exposed a lot in the show, and the judge can hear the bass line from the front in a lot of those moments.
the basses are actually one of the instruments that cut to the front better. It's kind of wild.
True. And then also their quad line is also extremely good. I think the only question mark for them, I think where the Blue Devils finish 4th or 5th, I don't think they're going to go as low as 6th. But if the snare line shows up, they'll get 4th. If the snare line doesn't show up finals week, Cavaliers
if they come
or
out and they play,
Phantom.
I mean, if they come out and they play flawlessly, like if anybody comes out and plays flawlessly, like
I don't even mean flawlessly. I mean like they can't give up little stuff. I mean,
yeah.
what I mean, they can't give up the immature ticks, which even in lot videos late season, the snare line still has some immature ticks happening. And I'm just saying that objectively. I'm not trying to beat up on anybody on the internet. It's just the reality of it to me.
And we're also like splitting hairs too with like tenths of points.
Cavies are really good. Phantom's really good. Blue Devils are really good. The top three are really good. My point is, it's all going to come down to me is to how well the snare line plays. If the snare line doesn't play that great finals week, you leave the door open, I think, for either Cavaliers or Phantom or both, potentially both, to move ahead of them.
I'll slightly disagree. I mean, I do think that the quads have some very exposed stuff that they're open to, and the judges spend so much time up front that like the front's gonna have to nail it. Like they are good, but they're gonna have to execute. So
everybody has to execute. I'm just saying, history
I know what you're
of the season. Like, I just think the snare line's going to be the X factor for the Blue Devils this year.
But yeah, I had BD in 7th, and then it went 6th, 5th.
And I have to talk. I have to talk about too. Both of us honestly are still high on Phantom, and we're really high on Phantom coming out of the gate of the season this year. I don't know if they plateaued a week ago or if like in terms of consistency. So.
We'll see.
The Cavaliers are playing. They had a run in Allentown.
They did. They were on one.
And now I might be getting bamboozled by an out of their minds crazy run in Allentown out of nowhere by the Cavaliers that put them above Phantom Regiment. But I don't think so. I think Josh and Adam know what they're doing, and the rest of their team know what they're doing. And we've said the quads and bases there are good all year. The snare line had some work to do, and it sounds like they've done the work. I don't know.
Phantom is my favorite percussion ensemble of the season. I still stick with that.
I really love what Phantom's doing. I'm just playing. I'm playing the hot hand. I'm playing the hot hand right now, and Cavies are hot right now.
Yeah, when I first put it in, it was Phantom, Cavies, Crown, BD.
And again, we're saying all this.
Yeah.
Cavaliers could beat Phantom. Phantom could beat Cavaliers. Both of those could beat the Blue Devils. These three percussion sections are extremely close.
Yeah.
I think what it really boils down to, not to beat a dead horse, whoever shows up the most those 3 nights is going to get 4th place. I know that's stating the obvious and how averages work when you average the nights out, but they're all so close. It's in the members' hands, which makes it fun as an audience member and a spectator. And for the members too, I would think it'd be exciting to know like, our fate is in our hands to beat the Blue Devils or to beat the Cavaliers or you know what I mean? Like they control their own fate, which is really cool.
Or even like who knows, like even further, like because like the groups that are in the top 3 obviously like are not
untouchable.
That's the right word. Untouchable. Yeah. Anybody could have a great run and not a great run.
Right.
So let's keep moving.
All right, 3rd place.
Santa Clara Vanguard.
Okay, interesting. I've got SCV getting 2nd. And I have Blue Coats in 3rd, and I'm assuming you have Coats in 2nd?
I do.
Yep. And then we both have Boston winning, probably for like the 4th season in a row that we've done this. I think this is finally.
I don't think we did that last year.
No, I don't think we did either.
I might go back and look.
I don't remember.
I think I had Vanguard last year because I was just like.
I think we did. I think both of us did. Now that I think back to it, but so the SCV versus Blue Coats discussion to me is more interesting than the Boston winning discussion. So we can just give Boston their laurels right now. If they can get across the finish line. If they can get across the finish line, which it looks like they're going to, I just think it's theirs to lose. I think they're so consistent. The front ensemble is doing a ton this year. I've heard multiple friends say it, that no front ensemble is better than I do. I think this is their year. I'm pretty confident that they'll They will hoist up the Sanford this year. And to me, it's been a long time coming for them. They've been so close a few years in a row.
Yeah, not to say that like they're due or whatever, like it's their turn, but
they deserve it.
I just do think that they are
the best group,
the most consistent group. For me, the thing that separates Bluecoats and SCV is just the totality of the percussive package, and that is obviously not to downplay what Paul and Sandy do, but I think what Bluecoats are offering is like cinematic.
Yeah, it's an experience. It's an experience.
Immerses you, and like I think that Vanguard is playing so like they're just like ramming at times, and sometimes it's just not quite. I think the tuning they do doesn't like help, in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
I was going to touch on that when we talk about my opinions on Vanguard and Bluecoats.
The Vanguard snare tuning for me is just a little wide and a little low, to where like those dense things, sometimes you're like questioning, like, is it clean? Like it sounds like it's almost like the bottom head and the guts like mesh together, and then like the toms just like the sound just like waffles together.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because one of the times we had Colin McNutt on here and we got talking about tuning with him, he was like, well, because we had said the years before leading up to talking to him for the first time, why are their drums so dry? Why are there so few guts on the drums? The top heads are so reefed. And he said, we're moving at such high speeds, playing such a high density of notes in a small space of time. If the tuning is too wet, it's really hard for the members to hear each other, to play together. If there's too much snare response, to not be able to hear the space between the notes as an audience member and a member of the line itself. And I think this to me is the densest Vanguard book I've on the aggregate. Some of this velocity and speeds and density of notes within phrases,
and like the split stuff and the snares
and I've had the same thought that you just voiced. Is the tuning too wide? And it causes,
maybe they'll turn that little snare bed a little bit.
Is it causing listening consistency issues from player to player because they're cramming so many notes in a small space so fast? It's just hard to hear. To play together.
I think one thing that Vanguard has going for them above like basically every group too is just they seem to capture a level of expression playing that not a lot of groups do, or hardly anybody does. Just the dynamic range, the way that they rise with these crescendos and fall and stuff.
Just, them and Bluecoats are the two most musical, I'd probably argue.
Yeah, like the touch
dynamic
is just
So the SCV Bluecoats, obviously you and I disagree slightly, 2-3, 3-2. My thinking is this could go. You could easily be right. I can see Vanguard beating Bluecoats. I can see Bluecoats beating Vanguard. But my reasoning for putting Vanguard up is the Bluecoats battery is hindered by not being readable as many times as the Vanguard battery is because of the judging system, because of the staging. And so it opens up the opportunity for, if the Bluecoats the battery don't nail their moments, they don't have many opportunities.
They don't get another chance,
They don't get another opportunity for the judge to be right in front of them, or many more. Vanguard...
That was also... Sorry, go ahead.
Vanguard's got many opportunities to be incredible right in front of the judge. So if Vanguard plays well, Bluecoats flop one of their phrases a couple of the nights where they're in front of the judge or have a couple ticks or whatever. So I'm playing the odds on this one. Vanguard has more opportunity to impress the judge than the Bluecoats do from a drumline standpoint, putting more pressure on the Bluecoats drumlines few moments from a staging standpoint. So I'm playing the odds. I think I'm putting Vanguard in second. But I can see it being flipped.
That was also a little bit of my thinking between like weighing Bluecoats versus Boston. It's like I think Boston has more moments to showcase themselves.
Yep. And that's unfortunately the world we live in now. Your staging has to set you up to be able to win.
Now, that same line of thinking is almost inverse when I start talking about the overall core, though, in the shows. So,
So let's jump down. Let's do the core stuff really quick, and then we'll close this out. 12th.
Blue Knights.
You know what? We're doing this. Just doing a lot of copy pasting. Let me get my list pulled up on my phone. I can't remember what I did for this one.
I don't think I have anything actually too crazy. It was.
I've got Blue Knights in 11th.
I have Colts in 11th.
I have Colts in 12th. 10.
Blue Stars.
Where are they? There they are.
You got to go down on my list. Sorry.
I've got Blue Stars in 9th and Troopers in 10th.
Flip flop for me.
Yep. 8.
I have the Cavaliers.
I have Cavaliers in 8th as well. 7.
Which would be, honestly, like that sounds crazy for the Cavaliers, but if they hop 3 spots from last year to this year, good job.
Let's talk about that for a second, because they got 11th last year. And
yeah, if they go from 11th to 8th, that's a win.
There's
that's
probably,
a huge win.
if you go look at the last 10 years, there's probably not many times a core has jumped 3 spots at finals one season to another. Obviously, it's happened. But
yeah, massive overhauls.
Yeah.
Maybe Boston did that when they overhauled all their staff with Colin and Leon and all that. But
I've got Mandarins in 7th.
Same.
6th.
Phantom Regiment.
I think that's who I have in 6th as
and
well.
I love Phantom Show.
Yep.
I just wonder if the lack of thematic idea will hinder them in like the GE realm. The show's about like everything, which means it's about like nothing, which means it's about everything. I don't know. So we'll see. But I love Phantom Show. I do.
You have Crown in 5th.
Crown, yeah. Which I almost put BD in 5th because I think Crown might catch them.
They could. They very well
Crown's
could.
brass and like the drums and like it'll depend on finals night. So what we did with the drum rankings is like, we're basing the averages of the night. The core places, obviously, we're just going finals. So whatever happens finals night. BD I have in 4th.
Yep. 3rd.
And then SCV.
Yep. That's who I have in 3rd.
Who's your champion?
I have the Blue Coats winning.
I do too. Okay.
Yep. So this is going to be lame, but I'm going to explain what I meant earlier in the podcast. I followed the drum rankings and recaps and whole tour of the percussion scores. I watched San Antonio, all of it, and I almost killed myself by the end of it. It's a lot of drum corps shows, but I told you before, I was like, dude, I literally kept my rankings exactly what the Allentown scores were. I was like, I don't have the information this year. I haven't watched the core shows enough. I've watched enough to know what the drum lines are doing, visually speaking. But I was like, I don't have an opinion.
I was following the brass rankings. I was following the guard rankings.
You were following a lot of stuff this year.
Dude, honestly, Blue Devils opening moment almost put them in 5th for me, like just putting them down.
Really?
They build this incredible amount of tension, and then they go to this block and they stand still and they do the most basic body you can imagine. Forward tendu, backward tendu, forward tendu, backward tendu, forward tendu, backward tendu, small plie, lean. I'm like, you built all this tension just to stand there and do that? And then later on in the show, they're like freaking running and jazz running and playing. I'm like, why didn't you do that at the beginning? Why did you do that at the beginning? Like, obviously, I'm not a designer. I don't have as much experience. I don't have near the accolades as the Blue Devils team, but that just made no sense to me. I'm just like, showcase the talent that you have right off the bat. That way, the rest of the show, I'll just be like, I saw what you did at the beginning. You do whatever you want.
Yeah. Yep. I feel guilty. I did not watch more regionals than I did this. I normally do. It was just an off summer for me. I was busy with a lot of other stuff. But I did. You can trust me when I say this. Evan can vouch for me. I followed the percussion side of things extremely closely. Lot videos, judges tapes, recaps, talking to people I know around the activity, going to see stuff in person. So I'm pretty confident about a lot of my percussion rankings. We'll see. You know what? Here's my justification for the overall core stuff staying the same. Sometimes the best option is to do nothing at all. So we'll see who's more right. We'll see who's more right, me or you.
Me, who's like watched all these.
Well, it won't be me. It'll be the judges in Allentown being more right. But so yeah, I love doing the predictions, man. I was freaking looking at recap, like scoring gaps to figure out my drum scores, like who at this show, like this region. I don't know. I was looking at all kinds. I have a spreadsheet. I was building the dang spreadsheet at the same time on one monitor with a bunch of old scores on the other monitor, and YouTube pulled up, and I can't wait to be extremely wrong.
I'm excited. For me, this will be up early Friday morning. This will be the first live drums I've seen since finals last year, because I did not make it to WGI finals, and the other WGI show that we tried to go to got canceled for inclement weather. So
yeah. I forgot about that. You didn't see any indoor live at all last winter, and then that's right.
Yep,
you couldn't make it to Muncie when I went up there.
This will be my first live drums in a year. So.
Well, feel free to say hi to us if you see us in the lot. If you're a listener, we'll be around the JW Marriott. We'll be in the lot. Probably, honestly, won't be around Lucas Oil except to watch Bucks, like we did last year.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see. We'll post this on Instagram so everybody can hold us accountable and tell us how dumb or smart we are when we see how it all shakes out. Again, feel free to come say hi. Share the video with anyone. Hit the like button, please, on YouTube. It helps us a ton. All the other links are in the description. Grab a shirt if you want. And we'll see you after finals at this point.
Peace.